Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all our Muslim brothers and sisters, and grace and peace be with you to our brothers and sisters in Christian. We're truly grateful to have each and every one of you here with us today. Welcome back to Lifelens TV. Today, we are shifting our focus to a topic that's raising quite a few eyebrows across the continent.
And all the times there are two things that all the times at play.
Raila Odinga's campaign for the African Union Commission, AUC. In an unexpected twist, Odinga's campaign has hit a serious cash crunch. But this isn't just about money, it's about power dynamics, resource battles, and a potential repeat of history. If you remember, the same issue plagued Raila's 2022 presidential campaign, where his inner circle was locked in battles over campaign resources. And, as history often repeats itself, we're witnessing similar chaos unfold within his AUC campaign. So, what's really going on? Join us as we break it all down. Just 4 days after the colourful unveiling of Raila Odinga's vision for the African Union, sources have confirmed a serious money squeeze. The big question is, what happened to the budget that was supposed to power this campaign? To give you some background, during the official launch of Raila's campaign on August 27th, President William Ruto proudly announced a campaign secretariat. It's being co-chaired by Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Dr. Korea Singoe and former Kenyan ambassador to the US, Mr. Elkanah Odembo. The government assured everyone that there would be a budget set aside for this ambitious mission. But here's where things get murky. Just days into the campaign, members of the Secretariat are already raising alarms about unpaid stipends. This financial strain is sparking real concern, especially because successful campaigns of this nature require substantial resources for travel, high-profile events, and diplomatic lobbying across Africa. Who's really controlling the purse strings? This is where it gets even more interesting. Multiple sources have painted a grim picture, hinting at a behind-the-scenes power struggle. The funds are reportedly controlled by some unknown government institution that releases money sporadically, mainly to cover Raila's personal programs, while leaving the rest of his team scrambling for support from well-wishers. Even worse, there are allegations that a powerful security agency has taken over key campaign functions, sidelining the official secretariat. Can you imagine that? A security organ running the campaign instead of the dedicated team? It's almost like déjà vu from the 2022 elections, where similar internal conflicts and mismanagement were part of what cost Raila the presidency. And if you think this cash crunch is just a minor inconvenience, think again. The campaign's success heavily depends on Raila's ability to lobby support from leaders across Africa. This kind of diplomacy is costly. It involves flying to various countries, hosting high-level meetings, and organizing events to sway influential leaders. In fact, sources have revealed that plans to hire a private jet are still up in the air. No pun intended. With an estimated cost of $600,000, strategists believe a private jet would allow Raila to make a final push across the continent before the crucial February elections, where he'll be facing off to replace the current AUC chair, Musa Faki Mahamat. But with the campaign's finances in disarray, this jet might just remain a pipe dream. Are we heading for another campaign disaster? This financial turmoil has raised an important question. Are we seeing the beginning of another campaign failure for Raila Odinga? Remember, during his 2022 presidential bid, infighting over resources and lack of coordination were some of the key reasons he lost to William Ruto. And now, it feels like history might be repeating itself. Imagine this scenario. The cabinet reportedly approved funds for Raila's campaign, but the Secretariat members have no idea where this money is or how it's being managed. A source even mentioned that they are waiting for their monthly stipend, with no clear answers in sight. We reached out to Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, as well as PS Dr. Singoe, for comments on the financial status of the campaign, but as expected, no response was forthcoming. So, what's next for Raila's AUC ambitions? If this cash crunch continues, it could seriously cripple Raila's chances in the AUC chairmanship race. It's a race against time, with every day lost potentially being a missed opportunity to garner crucial support from African leaders. Is this the beginning of the end for Raila's campaign? Or can his team pull off a last-minute comeback? Well, be keeping a close eye on this story as it unfolds. So, what do you think about this situation? Is Raila facing an uphill battle that's too steep to climb? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more insightful content right here on Lifelens TV. In conclusion, can Raila Odinga's AUC campaign overcome the challenges? As we wrap up today's deep dive into Raila Odinga's AUC campaign, it's clear that despite the financial challenges, his team remains optimistic. According to Mr. Elkanah Odembo, the campaigns are still on course. In fact, starting next week, Raila Odinga plans to kick off a door-to-door campaign across the continent, meeting with strategic leaders one-on-one. His mission? To push forward the AU Agenda 2063, a bold vision for Africa's unity and integration. Raila has promised to remove the roadblocks preventing the implementation of this ambitious plan, engaging directly with leaders to accelerate progress. But with resources stretched thin and questions about where the campaign funds are coming from, the real test will be whether Raila can maintain momentum and secure the support he needs to succeed in his bid for the African Union Commission chairmanship. The stakes are high, and the clock is ticking. Will Raila's strategic diplomacy and deep-rooted passion for African unity be enough to win the hearts and minds of leaders across the continent? Well, be keeping a close watch on how this unfolds, so stay tuned. Before we wrap up, let's take a step back to 2022 and draw a parallel between Raila Odinga's last presidential campaign and his current bid for the AUC chairmanship. If you look closely, the same issues that haunted Raila in the last election are eerily resurfacing in his AUC campaign. Back in 2022, Raila's fifth attempt at the presidency was marred by internal chaos. One of the biggest setbacks? The failure to deploy agents in key polling stations. Despite having a vast network, his campaign struggled with coordination, leaving critical zones uncovered. This last-minute breakdown was blamed on interference with plans to deploy agents across over 46,000 polling stations. The disjointed coordination didn't end there. The campaign was split between two teams. The strategy board, led by former Laikipia Governor Ndiritu Muriithi, featuring figures like Governors Anyang Nyong'o and Charity Ngilu, and Professors Peter Wanyande, Makau Mutua, and Karuti Kanyinga. Then there was the execution team led by Elizabeth Mayo, with prominent players like Raphael Tuju, Prof Mutua, and Dennis Onsarigo. But instead of working in harmony, these teams ended up clashing. There were even murmurs of a wait-and-see attitude among some leaders, frustrated that their opinions were sidelined. Some members of Raila's inner circle allegedly took control, alienating other campaigners. This disarray cost him dearly, especially in Mount Kenya, where leaders like former Meru Governor Kiraitu Murungi openly told voters to choose whomever they preferred, effectively undermining Raila's campaign efforts.
Ende ogwe ntira kwero kalingira Raila. Ogwe ringiro lo kugitate okwenda.
Fast forward to today, and we see a similar pattern. His AUC campaign is facing financial constraints, internal strife, and a lack of clarity on resources. The same ghosts that contributed to his loss in the 2022 election seem to have followed him onto the international stage. So, the big question is, can Raila Odinga break free from these old patterns and finally secure a victory on the continental stage? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Raila Odinga's AUC campaign challenges. If you found today's analysis enlightening, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest updates. We love hearing your thoughts, so let us know in the comments. Do you think Raila can overcome these setbacks and clinch the AUC chairmanship? And with that, we'll end as we always do. Wabillahi tawfiq. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.